The EduLive session is proudly hosted in collaboration with the University of Canberra, one of Australia's leading modern universities known for its strong industry connections and career-focused education. Located in Canberra, the capital city of Australia, the university is recognized for delivering practical real-world learning experiences that prepare students to succeed in a global workforce. With a diverse international student community, particularly from the Southeast Asia, and a strong commitment to academic excellence, the University of Canberra continues to build graduates who are skilled, adaptable, and ready to make meaningful contributions to society. Today, we are pleased to welcome Mr. Raj Desai, who joins us as a speaker for this EduLive session in collaboration with the University of Canberra. So just an attention to everyone that this EduLive session will be recorded. Well, it is recording now, and we will be sharing those recording later. And if you have any questions, please do put in your questions in the Q&A section box in Zoom, if you are in Zoom, and in other platform, please feel free to actually put in your questions. And at the end of the presentation, I'll be reading through those questions to Mr. Raj Desai. And if there is no such thing as a stupid questions, by the way, so feel free to ask, whether it's about fees, requirement, or even a scholarship, or even a specific courses, please feel free to type in your questions. So without further ado, I'll pass it on to Mr. Raj Desai. Mr. Raj, you can go ahead.
Thank you so much, V. Thank you for the great introduction. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are joining us to joining us today. And it's very good to have this session. The purpose of this session is for me to share a lot of information to you about the university and obviously the study destination, Canberra. And for us to have a discussion about what Canberra has to offer, what courses that you can look at, what career opportunities that you can potentially look at if you come and study and work in Canberra. And essentially, we want to keep this session very fun and real, in which we are able to assist you in terms of your future study journey. I'll do a quick introduction again. Thank you, V, for the introduction already. But my name is Raj. I am the Business Development Manager for Southeast Asia and for Southeast Asia and Onshore at University of Canberra. I hope you can see my screen at the moment.
Okay,
I
perfect.
hope the presentations are visible now. Perfect.
Yes.
Thank you. Sorry. Thank you so much. Sorry about that. Okay, let's just get started quickly. So, where is Canberra? I think the most important question a lot of students have is, where is Canberra, especially if you're joining us from overseas. Perhaps those in Australia obviously would know where Canberra is located. And it is interesting that not many people know that Canberra is actually the capital city of Australia. We are very strategically located as a study destination. So we're just in between Sydney and Melbourne. So in terms of proximity, it's a very strategic location because we are about 3 hours, 30 minutes away from Sydney. It takes about 3 hours to go into the city center. Melbourne is about 6 hours, 30 minutes. Canberra is very unique in the sense that being close to two big cities allows you to essentially experience the big city lifestyle. At the same time, if you stay in Canberra as well, like I have been for the past 10 years, Canberra gives you the luxury of being in a small city, but it feels like you have everything that you need without the need to go into the big city, which is something that is an hallmark of Canberra for me. And it's really a hidden gem. So when I said the location 3 hours, I was referring to 3 hours by bus or car to Sydney and about 6 hours, 30 minutes to Melbourne. But if you decide to take the flight, it is even shorter. It's about a 45 minutes, 50 minutes flight to Melbourne and about the same to Sydney as well. So it's even much more accessible as well, which is what Canberra has to offer in terms of its location. But that's just one of the things. There are other reasons why considering Canada as a study destination is going to be perhaps the best decision that you can make for your study abroad journey. At some point in my life, I made that decision. I myself studied in Canberra as well as an international student, and that did help me in terms of where I am today as well. But in terms of the university, we our main campus is based out of Bruce, the suburb called Bruce in Canberra. Canberra is known for a number of reasons, but I want to highlight the most important ones with you today. So, when you look at studying in Canberra as a study destination, there are a couple of things which stand out to international students, especially. The fact that Canberra offers the highest weekly average earning is quite attractive. What it means, so having the highest weekly average earnings essentially means that the employment opportunities in Canberra essentially pay international students or pay any worker quite high, higher than the national average that you have in Canberra. Sorry, national average that you have in Australia. So the wages are quite high. But not only the wages are high, the unemployment rate, if you compare the unemployment rate in Australia by state, what you'd find is that Canberra has the lowest unemployment rate across Australia. So it also means that perhaps it's easier to find a job in Canberra. There is less competition in Canberra than what you'll find in bigger cities. There is often a misconception that you go to bigger cities and that you have more opportunities. Yes, that in part is true, but it also means that perhaps there is going to be more competition. Whereas Canberra, if you go by the government statistics, you'll see that the unemployment rate is the lowest across the country currently. Along with the third factor, which I quite like, is affordability as well. So we talked about the weekly average salary being quite high. We talked about finding jobs, whether it's part-time jobs or full-time jobs, being relatively easier to find in Canberra. But the third factor, I think it just sums it up, which is that as an international student, it's also quite an affordable destination. I'll talk about accommodation. I'll talk about the this lifestyle in Canberra a bit later. But for now, what I would like to say is that Canberra is a relatively affordable and accessible destination compared to, say, the bigger cities of Sydney or Melbourne, which is generally the preferred destination for a lot of students. But like I said earlier, Canberra is a hidden gem. We are also the most educated city. What that actually means for international students is that you're going to be surrounded by extremely smart people, people who would actually help you in terms of your career development and growth, which is something that is very unique about Canberra. More than 60% of the people have got a bachelor degree or above in Canberra. More than 25% of the people were actually born overseas and not in Canberra. So we are actually quite a multicultural city, and the skill development and job growth as well. So a couple of industries that are of focus of Canberra's government include technology, include defense, space, health, education. So these are key industries that are of focus in Canberra as well, where there are a lot of opportunities as well. Renewable energy and sustainability would be the other two as well to add to that list. Recently, there was the quality of life survey by Oxford Economics, in which Canberra got rated as the number two city in number two best and Australia's best city in terms of quality of life. You hear this term quality of life a lot. So what that actually means is the ease of living. Canberra is a city which is small. You can get around the entire city in about 25 minutes, you can say. We used to be called a 20-minute city. But what that means is that unlike the bigger cities, you will not get stuck in traffic. You will have better work-life balance. You'll be able to live in a city which is relatively much more accessible as well. But in terms of quality of life, there are other aspects to it, which include clean air, which include safety, which include the nature in Canberra. So there are a number of things, the calm lifestyle of Canberra, the educated people in Canberra, which makes Canberra a very appealing destination for you to study, work, and live here as well. Talking about living here in Canberra, what makes it even more special for students that are considering Canberra as a study destination is that despite being the capital of Australia, Canberra has the regional classification. The regional classification is simply another way of saying that the government wants to encourage more people to consider cities outside the major cities. And if you consider coming to Canberra, there are certain additional advantages of choosing Canberra as a study destination, which include the extended post study work rights. So you do get an extended post study work visa. So generally, a post study work visa for Australia usually is for 2 years. If you study a bachelor or master's, but coming to a regional area means that you get an extra year as well. And certain nationalities, there are different arrangements, but if I generalize it, you generally get 1 year extra by coming to a regional area. And Canberra, for that purposes, is classified as a regional area. It does not have to do anything with the infrastructure in the city or the population. It has to do with the population, but not with infrastructure, not with the way the city is. Canberra has a population of about 500,000. We would like to see more people, and I think the government would like to see more people moving to Canberra as well for their future study journey. In terms of the weekly average earnings that I shared earlier, here are some statistics which are from the Australian Bureau of Statistics (ABS), which shows you actually the weekly average earning across Australia. What we will find here is, again, what I was trying to say earlier is that Canberra, which is ACT, the Australian Capital Territory, we're located here between New South Wales and Victoria, Melbourne, and Sydney. So the weekly average earnings for someone working full time in Canberra is about $2,232. That's higher than anywhere else in Australia. It's actually higher than the average weekly salary in Australia as well. And then we look at the unemployment rate as well. These are government statistics as well coming from ABS. And again, that shows you the same story, which is Canberra has got one of the lowest unemployment rate. Combine these two with the affordability, Canberra has a very attractive value proposition for international students. We did a very good introduction about the university earlier for us. We are actually known as Australia's most practical university, located in the nation's capital. We are a young university, but in a span of very few years, the university has quickly risen in terms of rankings. Currently, we are in the top 100 young universities, 65 globally as well. And nationally, we rank 13th as well. But more importantly, a couple of our subjects, whether it's subjects in sports, nursing, communication, sustainability, these are ranked amongst the top 100 or 200 QS ranked subjects as well. So, depending on your course area, you may be studying a course which is highly ranked globally as well. In terms of teaching quality as well, there is nothing better than studying at University of Canberra, because we have been consistently rated 5 star in terms of our teaching, in terms of our infrastructure, in terms of our graduate employability, in terms of graduate starting salaries as well. And that's according to the Good Universities Guide ranking. When it comes to Canberra as well, we are number one in Canberra for full-time employment, for starting salaries, and student support, most importantly. Throughout your time at University of Canberra, you'll be supported, you'll be guided by professionals, and what University of Canberra really prepares you for is for you to be job ready. And because of that, you can look at our statistics in terms of our graduates, in terms of their employability rates as well. It's pretty high when you compare it to similar universities in Australia, higher than some of the bigger names as well, I would say. And number five in Australia for overall employability is something that also again emphasizes the point that UC prepares students to be job ready, provides you with skills if you choose UC. That the industry needs. Most of our courses as well, they're designed in collaboration with industry professions. A lot of our teachers actually come from the industry, or some of our teachers on campus are former politicians as well, who teach some of our government programs or public policy programs as well. So it's very unique coming to University of Canberra and our scholarships. And that's something I'd love to answer more about because we just have launched some brand new scholarships which make it even more affordable to to get quality education and to make education more accessible for all. Scholarships currently range up to 30% as well, and it's for the entire total duration of the program, not for the first year, but for the total duration. There's a 30% scholarship that is being offered by the university. So when we talk about the statistics that we just went through in terms of job ready, in terms of the in-demand graduates, that's largely because of the way our curriculum is structured. So if you look at University of Canberra's academic model, you'll find that work integrated learning is the center of everything that we do. So by work integrated learning, there are a couple of aspects to it. So most of our courses is going to have either placements, it is going to have mentorships, industry projects, it is going to have teaching professional experiences, opportunity, for example, if you study education, for you to go into our school network in Canberra and teach at those schools. If you study courses like business, for example, for you to have the internship opportunity to intern with one of the many companies that are there in Canberra. We, on an average, at the university, work with more than 900 different employers every year. We have placed more than 8 or 10,000 students in terms of um, internships and placement, and there's a dedicated team at the university for that as well. The best thing about University of Canberra is that if you are actually a student at the university, we have a dedicated careers hub. So if you're looking for casual jobs, part-time jobs, we have a student first policy. So any casual or short-term jobs that are available at the university, there's a preference that the job will be given to a UC student over external applicants, which is something that I encourage everyone to look out for and take advantage of. Apart from the various other career services that are provided by the university. So as you can see, our focus is largely in terms of practical learning, and this is again emphasized in the way our degree is structured. So typically, a 3-year bachelor degree or a 2-year master degree would include professional orientation, in which we get you started in terms of thinking about what your future career path could be or what your future career looks like. Then you have professional practice, which is actually work integrated learning. We have doubled down on work integrated learning units. So we have 4 units, which are basically, or 2 units, which give you 4 credit points, which are essentially about work integrated learning, which is where you apply the theoretical knowledge that you gain from the core units, and you apply them in the workplace. So as you can see, you don't have to wait till your last semester pretty much to do work integrated learning. You can start it from the first semester or second semester, or I should rather say from the first year itself. And then in the last year, generally, you have professional evidence, which is your opportunity to showcase to your opportunity to showcase to the university through industry projects, um, through others reflections, for perhaps in terms of your learning, that you're ready and you have the skills that the job market requires. So professional evidence, essentially, it could also include you collecting your portfolio of the work that you've done at your internship place, or the designs that, for example, if you're studying design, the designs that you have made while you were working at your workplace. So it's an opportunity for students to showcase the skills that they have gained throughout their journey at UC, which will again help them in terms of finding job opportunities, be more employable in the workplace as well. We do host a career fair at the university as well. It happens twice a year. It's called Tertiary to Work. And it's a great opportunity for students to connect with potential employers. But studying at University of Canberra is not just about the academic side of things. It's also about the community that you have on campus. the lifestyle that you have on campus, and how the university makes each and every student feel you're just not a number when you join University of Canberra. Being a small university allows us to give much more dedicated support, allows us to also make sure that you're actually enjoying the university experience and you're not lost in the crowd. That's one of the key advantages of coming to a smaller sized university. What UC offers in terms of our lifestyle, definitely starting at accommodation. There is guaranteed accommodation for all international students. You don't have to worry about finding accommodation. How good is that? And it's also affordable as well. So if you look at accommodation starting prices, it starts at $216 per week. If you look at accommodation anywhere in Sydney or Melbourne, I'm just comparing to bigger cities, you would find that the accommodation is 300, 400, perhaps dollars per week. So almost double of that in Canberra. Now, in terms of the student life as well, you will have access to over more than 70 different clubs and societies. There is always activities going on campus. I'm very fortunate to be based out of the Bruce campus, so I can see that every week the student association, which all the student clubs are under this banner called UCX. So UCX will manage all the student clubs and societies. So UCX, in collaboration with the other clubs and societies, will put together a lot of events for such as speed friending. So if you don't know anyone in Canberra and want to connect with other people within your cohort, within your class, or from a different faculty, there are a lot of activities that are organized on campus. Also, if you look at our the way the Bruce campus is situated, it's very close to the nearest shopping center as well, just 15 minutes walk away. In terms of in terms of student support as well, we're very fortunate to actually have a hospital on campus as well. We do have health and well-being clinics. We have specific doctors for students who only see students as well. And obviously, the student support, Student Central, which is the first point of contact for any current students. Apart from the career support, career unit, skill development unit. So, as you can see, a lot of facilities are available on campus. Just to give you an idea of how the accommodation looks like, this is how the accommodation facilities are. It's something that I would encourage every international student, at least in the first year, to experience, because that's where you actually you actually get a good taste of university life, being surrounded by people from different nationalities. You get to experience different cultures, you develop your communication skills. It is a good way of easing into university life as well. So, something I encourage all students, especially it's at a very affordable rate and a comparative rate compared to other private accommodations in Canberra as well. Going on, I think in terms of employers, I did mention that we do work with a large number of companies in Canberra, over 900 companies. Some of the big names include PwC, National Bank, NAB, Deloitte. So we do work with, if you're into hospitality, Accor Hotels, journalism, Canberra Times. So these are companies that are based in Canberra. In terms of student skills and support as well, so there's a lot of support available for students in at University of Canberra, whether it's orientation, whether it's English courses, whether it's drop-in assignment support, or in terms of campus security, that is also available 24/7 for international, domestic, all kinds of students. And in terms of study help, UC Thrive, which is a student mentorship program. So during orientation week, you get connected with a mentor who will actually help you settle into university life as well. And that's something which truly allows you to know more about the university, what facilities are available. It's sort of a friend that you make in the first week itself through the student mentorship program. Now, I've talked a lot about the university, I've talked a lot about Canberra, so I hope that has given you enough information. Cautious for time, I will now move into the courses that the university has to offer, because we have got some amazing courses that you might be interested in. At the university, more than 220 degrees are offered, and we generally offer our courses across 12 different fields of studies. So if you look at our main fields of studies, health, science and technology, education, business, government law, arts and design. So these five are essentially the five faculties that we have at the university. And these five faculties together offer more than 220 courses. What I'll do is I'll give you a quick overview of each faculty so that we can have a discussion later or answer any questions that you have. Hopefully, I'm very confident that within these five faculties, within these 200 courses, you will have a course that will be of interest to you and that you're looking to study in the future. Starting with our arts and design faculty. So, in terms of arts and design, what we will notice is that our communication programs are actually quite popular. We have some amazing facilities on campus, which I'll show you in the next slide. But at the highest level, if you look at the median salary for anyone who studies a bachelor or a master's of communication, it is one of the highest salaries that you'll find across Australia. We rate it highly in terms of creativity. Creativity is also one of the key sectors of the ACT government in terms of industrial growth or industries with growth potential, you can say. Rate it quite highly in terms of architecture and built environment. So if you're interested in degrees such as building and construction or architecture, that's something that University of Canberra has to offer. And some of the amazing facilities. So the university is quite big. We have lots of facilities on campus. So if you're studying something in arts and design, what you can expect is some really great hands-on facilities. My personal favorite is the Media Resource Center. So at University of Canberra, we have a student-run radio station, which is very unique. So a radio station which is run by students. But apart from that, it's a full-fledged resource center in terms of media and comms. So a TV studio, a green room, VA booth, editing studio, so everything is there. In terms of our built environment, in terms of architecture, urban planning, we have facilities in terms of business, in terms of building information modeling, so which is quite in demand at the moment in terms of anyone looking to study architecture or anyone looking to do building and construction as well. We try to embed VR and AR in terms of our building design as well. As we know now, AI is pretty much everywhere, so that is embedded as part of our curriculum as well through the use of virtual reality and augmented reality AR. Apart from that, if you look at a couple of other places on campus, something that is of interest is Workshop 7. So if you're into courses which are about product design, that's something a lot of our students within design course would spend a lot of time at Workshop 7. So, arts and design, just to give you an overview in terms of our general course fees. So, if you're looking to study an undergraduate course in arts and design, you're looking at about anywhere between 31,000 to 38,000 AED in terms of tuition fee. That is without any scholarship. I'll talk about the scholarship available later as well. In terms of postgraduate, it's about 30,000 to 37,200 um, annually. Now, the university has a lot of specializations that we offer. For example, if you're looking to study journalism, we may not have a Bachelor of Journalism, but I would encourage you to have a look at, say, something like a Bachelor of Communication and Media with a specialization in journalism. Most of our courses come with accreditation as well. So, accreditation is a hallmark that the course has met industry standard. I always encourage students to look for courses that are accredited. It is again showcasing that the quality is at the highest level. Moving on, business government law. So within our business government law faculty, Canberra, essentially University of Canberra is one of the top universities in terms of work integrated learning, in terms of starting salaries. So our graduates are actually number 3 in Australia for starting salaries within the business government law faculty. We're number three in Australia for commerce and management subject as well. So that in itself tells you the quality of education that you are likely to receive at the university. If you look at the employability rate, especially postgraduate employability rate for anyone within the business management stream, is 98.3%, and a starting salary or a median salary rather is of $92,000, which is quite attractive. Just going by the employability rate as well, it shows you that our UC graduates are highly employable. And when it comes to skill development, when it comes to student support as well, that the university is doing an excellent job, and for which we are actually getting recognized in national forums as well. So if you go by the financial review, recent awards by the financial review, you'll see that University of Canberra is ranked number one in Australia for career impact. If you look at some of the incubation hubs that we have on campus, if you look at the moot courts, so if you're studying law, that's the beauty of coming to University of Canberra, because you can experience what a courtroom looks like without actually going into a courtroom, because we have a moot simulated facility, simulated learning facility as well. And apart from that, we do have various research centers at the university as well, whether it's environmental governance, whether it's uh, global governance, whether it's to do with social and economic modeling. So, a couple of different areas that are offered at the university. We are very unique in the sense that within the Bachelor of Government, for example, Canberra being the hub of the government, it's a perfect place to study anything to do with public policy, politics, international relation, but our business programs as well. So if you look at our business programs, for example, accounting programs, they're recognized by CPA, they're recognized by the CA Chartered Accountant as well. So is our Master of Professional Accounting or a Master of Business Administration Plus as well, which allows you to specialize in areas such as human resource, international business, marketing. And the course fees, again, quite reasonable if you look at it. I'll show you the breakdown in terms of scholarships soon. As I've mentioned, education is really one of the most popular faculties at the university. That is because of the experience and graduate employability rate again. We have a very unique partnership, which is very unique to University of Canberra, because we work very closely with the Education Directorate in Canberra. By doing so, what it means is that our students, which are not yet teachers, get the opportunity to actually be at schools and teach students before they even graduate and get real industry experience, real workplace experience. That because of that reason, because of the experience that they get at schools across Canberra, what you will find is that students, by the time they graduate, they're very confident with their skill set. They've also developed a lot of connections with industry professions, with a lot of employers as well, which allows again them to have a very high graduate employability rate. In terms of education, we specialize in a couple of areas in early childhood, in primary, secondary, in educational leadership as well. So we offer courses which are for students who want to potentially get leadership skills, who may have done a Bachelor of Education but want to now grow up and upskill in terms of their career as well. So what I was talking about earlier is the school-based clinics, which allows pre-service teachers who are still students, to spend time in schools along with other experienced teachers and get up to 80 hours of work experience. So the affiliated schools program, which is something again, which is a partnership between University of Canberra and the government of Canberra, allows students to get hands-on experience. So overall, in terms of the education programs, one of the biggest challenge in terms of education programs is the English requirements, which tend to be higher. So generally, our English requirements for most courses are about 6.0, 6.5. But for teaching courses, the English requirements are a bit high. You can expect IELTS requirements up to 7.5. In some bands, you may need 8, as well. We do accept other forms of teaching. We do accept other teaching proficiency, language testing, for example, PT, but may not be for all courses, for some courses. For example, education studies, however, is a course which is within the Faculty of Education, which has a bit of a lower English requirement, something if you're interested in education to consider. Also, a course in Bachelor of Early Childhood, Birth to Five, it has a much lower English requirement of about 6.0. No band school is than 5.5. So that allows you to enter at a bit lower English requirement, English proficiency than the Bachelor of Early Childhood Primary Education, which requires you to have a much higher 7.5 requirement. But moving on, health is another area at the university which is essentially the most popular area at the university, apart from education, I would say, and business. So, in terms of health, the university is very fortunate to have world class facilities, which include our on campus hospital, which include our research facilities that we have here. If you look at salaries, if you look at employment outlooks, it's out employment rates, it's quite high. So pharmacy graduates, for example, if you're interested in studying pharmacy at the university, at the postgraduate level, the employability rate is 94.6%. We do offer a Bachelor of Pharmacy as well at the university. It is quite competitive to get into these programs because the number of spots available are limited, especially for courses which I'll show you soon, like occupational therapy, physiotherapy. Quite difficult to get in, but if you have got a competitive GPA, you do still stand a good chance of finding a slot at or finding a place at University of Canberra. So these are some of the images of the things that I've earlier spoken about: the hospital, the UC Health clinics, a research facility in for human movement and sports, UC Rise. Sports, we're big at sports. Is we're University of Canberra is very big in terms of sports as well. We are home to a lot of sporting organizations, especially um, rugby organizations, soccer organizations, basketball. We have a very good team in terms of basketball, UC Capitals, which is very well known across Australia, hopefully globally as well. In terms of health programs, some of the programs which I have highlighted in yellow, they have got limited uh, places available, and those are quite competitive to get in. You are generally placed on a weighting ranking, so it's a ranked program. You get ranked against all other applicants, and the students which have the highest GPA generally receive offers first. And if you're not, there are multiple rounds of offers, which is the other good thing at the university. But I do want to just give you a heads up that the application process for these courses, especially the ones in italics, Master of Occupational Therapy, Master of Physiotherapy, can be quite competitive. But some of the other alternatives that are available at the university include programs such as Bachelor of Health Sciences, which allows you to also specialize in human movement as well. So if that's something, it's a degree which is quite popular as well in terms of the university, in terms of the job outlooks as well. Bachelor of Pharmacy, as I mentioned earlier, or a Bachelor of Vision Science would be the other ones. Most of our actually all of our health degrees would have some level of accreditation as well. So whether if you're looking to study nursing, for example, the course is recognized by APRA, it's approved by the Australian Nursing and Midwifery Association Accreditation Council as well, which is one of our flagship programs at the universities. Just to be mindful, some of the courses only have one intake. So the next available intake may just be a February intake. However, courses such as psychology, such as vision science, such as exercise, Bachelor of Health Sciences, they could have two intakes as well. So it's good to always check the intakes that are available. In terms of the last faculty area at the university, or the last course study area offering at the university is science and technology. As you can see, we do offer comprehensive programs across various disciplines, and science and technology is one of them. If you look at our science facilities, again, state of art facilities, whether it's the microscopy lab, whether it's environmental lab, whether it's a research center. We are very fortunate to have various specializations within IT, whether it includes artificial intelligence, whether it includes cybersecurity, robotics. I personally like the robotics course quite a lot. We do have a robotics lab on campus. We do have an innovation lab on campus as well, apart from human observation labs as well. So some really amazing facilities on campus. One of my favorite courses at the university, especially for students looking to study masters and in something to do with technology but don't have any background, is a master of business informatics. You don't need to necessarily have a IT background. Anyone from any background can consider a master of business informatics course, and other courses, for example, which are quite popular at the universities, include a Bachelor of Software Engineering or a Bachelor of IT. But there are various specializations that you can choose from. As we now know, AI and robotics is quite popular at the moment. It's an in-demand area which is likely to have many jobs in the future. So if that's something that interests you, University of Canberra is a good place to study these courses. But moving on, if you look at what makes UC even more attractive is the price point that which our courses are offered. We are one of the most affordable universities in Australia, but I want us to know that fact, but also keep in mind that the university produces highly qualified and highly job ready graduates. So the quality of teaching is very high, but the tuition fees is very affordable. These are two things I would like you to take away, because you don't need to necessarily pay a lot of money to get a good quality degree. You can do so at an affordable price as well. It's all about making education more accessible. Our 30% course is across 30% scholarship, which is the Southeast Asia Excellence Scholarship, is for the entire duration of the program. It is about 12,000, 8 to 12,000 per year for total duration that the scholarship is valued at. There is no separate application as well, which makes it even much more easier. All you have to do is lodge an application through AIG, and we will assess you for your scholarship. You do have to maintain certain GPA to maintain your 30% scholarship. Otherwise, there's a chance that if your GPA goes below 5.0 in your first year, then there's a chance that you may lose that scholarship. So that's something that is clearly indicated in the offer as well. But very attractive price point. I do understand that students from various nationalities may be at this session. So the entry requirements would be different in terms of the qualification type that you have completed. It is perhaps best to go onto our website to look at our qualification, our entry requirements in terms of academics, which I've given the link to here. Happy to perhaps share the slides as well later with ARG. And something I also want to mention, which is again the good thing about University of Canberra, is that for any program, if you're not able to meet the entry requirement, for most of the programs, we do have got pathway options as well. So University of Canberra has got our own college on campus. So University of Canberra college students are studying from the same campus. They get access to the same facilities. So if you, for any reason, you're not able to meet the direct entry requirements for the university, then there is always a pathway option that is available. So I encourage you to have that discussion with your counselor at AIG when you look at lodging your application. But that's largely it from me. But happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Great. Thank you so much, Raj, for the it is a very lengthy presentation, but it's quite good actually because you covered most of it. But I'm pretty sure some of the students or our dear colleagues as well might um, not be able to come in for the first hand around. So there is quite a few questions. So I'll start with the questions now.
Perfect.
All right. Hi, Mr. So I'll read through on the Zoom first, because I can see
Okay.
there's about three questions here, and then I'll move on to the other platform. Hi, Mr. Raj. Canberra is politics area, correct? I suppose that it's like politician area. Is there opportunities for students to engage with government organization during studies?
Absolutely. I think the beauty of Canberra is that we have more than 200 embassies from different countries located in Canberra. So that's the hallmark about being located in Canberra. From a student experience point of view, you do get to do internships, you do get to engage with ministers. I'm not sure if we are aware, but our vice chancellor and the president of the university is a former minister. President currently Bill Shorten is the Vice Chancellor of the university, and Honorable Bill Shorten actually is a former minister. So you will actually have many former members of the government working at the university. Perhaps one of your lecturers is one of the ministers as well. So that's the beauty of studying in Canberra is that you do get access to whether it's DFAT, whether it's various embassies, whether it's visits to Parliament House. That's something unique about Canberra.
Excellent. Raj, I've got a request by the audience. If you can go into the ones with the scan
Yep.
barcode, I think they wanted to scan. Yeah, if you can just leave that, that would
Okay.
be great for them to see the entry requirement as well. Um,
Okay.
and do you accept PTE for health courses? Because I guess there are some university accept only IELTS. So does University Canberra accepts PTE as well?
We do a certain courses this end. So what I do is, one second, let me see. We do accept PTE for certain courses, especially um, for, for courses, for example, nursing, we do accept PTE. So what it may be best to go into the entry requirements page, which I can share my screen if you'd like us to go through it.
Sure. Go ahead for it.
Okay, one second. Sorry, just give me.
And at the same time, Raj, is the pathway from CIT is recognized for to the University of Canberra? Because I know that you have the University of Canberra College, but does the CIT is pathway program recognized as well in University of Canberra?
Yes, correct. Just trying to look at, yes. So you do get certain credits if you complete studies at CIT. For example, depending on your studies, you're likely to get anywhere between 8 or 6 to 12. So 1 year credit up to 12 months, or potentially longer as well, depending on the degree. So we do have formal credit arrangements that are there that allow students to get credits from CIT as well, apart from UC College.
Great, great. Is there a business course measuring in AI in UC? I'm getting a lot of this from the Southeast Asia, Raj. So
Right.
yeah.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
right. No, that's a very good question. So, what the unit? So, what I would encourage the students to think about a business course with a bit of IT would be a Bachelor of Business Informatics. So if you want to major in something like cloud computing, Internet of Things, cybersecurity, data science, but you still want to have a bit of a bachelor of business feel to the program, then a perfect combination of business and IT would be a Bachelor of Business Informatics program. So it's a 3-year program that is offered by the university with 3 different specializations: cloud computing, Internet of Things, cybersecurity, system administration, data science. There is AI as well in the units that are offered as part of the program. And there's
Okay.
some open electives as well for students wanting to do more
Oh,
AI
perfect.
courses.
Yeah, yeah. That was my next question, if there is any open elective as well on that.
There
Okay.
is, there is.
Is the intake for Masters of Nursing only in February, and does this course have scholarship?
That's a very good question. So, in terms of depending on it, so first, to answer the first part of the question, we do have 2 intakes. It's highly competitive. The slots are limited, but we do have 2 intakes. So we have a February intake and an intake starting in early August. So there are 2 intakes available. In terms of scholarships, it depends upon currently, if you're from Southeast Asia, there is a 10% scholarship that is offered to a Bachelor of Nursing program, which is still quite competitive if you compare to other universities. It brings the tuition fee down to somewhere around 32,000 dollars, which is about $16,000 a semester. So there is a 10%. Unfortunately, there is no 30% scholarship for the nursing program. That's something that has recently been changed by the university. So certain health programs only have a lower percentage scholarship, and that's largely because of the competition in terms of the programs, and the spaces available for these programs are quite limited.
All right.
But what I would say is that we're still quite competitive, and Canberra has certain unique advantages that other states may not have.
Yes, definitely, definitely. Especially in nursing, though, because you guys run out really, really fast and it's very competitive. Um,
Correct.
yeah. So we've got a question from Anushil. Do you accept IELTS or PTE in 2 sittings for bachelor nursing course?
We do accept in 2 sittings taken in the last taken in the last 6 months. 2 sittings are acceptable.
For accommodation, what is the process for applying, and the student has to apply in advance for the accommodation?
That's a good question. So I encourage us to first finalize the application process for the university, and then start with the accommodation process. So by saying that, because the demand is quite high, so currently the application, if you're looking at semester 2, the application deadline is somewhere around May, mid-May. So if you can finalize your application to study at the university, then I would encourage you to start your accommodation application around the same time. So if you are able to finalize the UC application by May, I would encourage you to apply for accommodation. There is guaranteed accommodation, but certain room types may get sold out quicker. Certain accommodation, there are different facilities. There are more than 5 different types of accommodation available at the university. So if your preference is a certain type, and but you apply late, you may not get that. So I encourage you to. It's guaranteed accommodation, but the number of slots available for different types of accommodation are limited, so you may not get the one that you want if you apply late. That's why I always encourage finalize your application soon, apply for accommodation as soon as possible. The process essentially generally is just to complete a form through our website, so it's not a complicated process. It's a super easy process.
Okay, there's a question in regards to the Masters of Research, Raj. So, Mr. Raj, I'm looking into studying in Masters of Research. Is it quite friendly in terms of the application process, and what are the process to apply in University of Canberra? Oh, you might breaking up, Raj, a little bit. We couldn't hear you. Yeah. Okay, now we can hear you. Yes.
Sorry about that. Okay, yes, I think the application process is quite friendly. However, the major challenge is in terms of finding the right supervisor who is able to support you through your research. So, putting a research proposal which is quite comprehensive, and then going through our website which lists all the research professors that are available, and finding a supervisor is the challenging part. Once you're able to get through that part, once you have a supervisor who is able to, who has the expertise, skill set, and the skill set to guide you through your research, then the rest process is quite easy. But the most challenging part is finding the right supervisor.
And usually, we would advise the student to be prepared, most probably 6 months uh, in advance, just because of finding the supervisor, isn't it, Raj? Yeah.
Correct. For higher degree research programs, the recommendation is to start quite early compared to applying for a bachelor or a master's standalone coursework program.
That's right. That's right. All right. There's another one. When does the application open for the early August intake for Masters of Nursing?
There is actually the Master of Nursing program actually has only one intake, unfortunately. So the Bachelor of Nursing has got two intakes, but the Master of Nursing only has got a Feb intake. And the application opening dates are not yet announced, but we would anticipate it to be somewhere around August or October for the following year.
Yeah. We at AIG will be able to, once we get, sort of notification from the University of Canberra, perhaps from Raj himself, then we will actually advise when to put in the application. If you do have all the documents ready, as much as you can, get on the PTE, get on the IELTS, get a perfect score on that, then once the openings for the application, then we will be able to submit straight away, because it can be very competitive, right, Raj? Yeah.
Right.
uh,
If you think about alternative courses such as Master of Public Health, so
mm,
public health promotion officers are quite in demand. So if for any reason you may not be able to get into Master of Nursing, perhaps Master of Public Health, which has got two intakes, is something that you may want to consider as well.
all right. Another question would be, would there be a public, free transportation from the airport to the Canberra for newly student?
Okay, that's a good question. Unfortunately, at the moment, there is no free transportation. But if you do decide to take the public transport in Canberra, you do get 50% concession. So not only on your first trip, but throughout your time in Canberra, if you're an international student, you get 50% discount on public transport, whether it's the buses, whether it's the light rail. But at the moment, there is no free airport pickup from the airport. Canberra is very accessible. So from the airport to our campus, it takes about 15 minutes. You have taxis, right? A taxi stand just outside the airport, but also the bus network. So if you do decide to hop onto the bus, it'll probably take you only $2.50 for the ride.
And the same student was asking if there isn't any like a free service pickup from the airport. What would your suggestion be, Mr. Raj? Like, do you have to, it's advisable to stay in Sydney and then the next day to hop on the train, because I guess what the student is trying to ask is that, they might get a flight in really late, and they're not very familiar in terms of the distance. They may be familiar about it, but I guess they just wanted to have a little bit of an advice in terms of whether to stay put in Sydney first and then the next day going to Canberra. What would your
What
suggestion?
would
Mm.
be It's interesting because when I first came to Canberra, I came by Sydney, so I took a flight from Sydney to Canberra. That's not the smartest option, but that's the option I took because it was the first time to come. It gets quite there are alternative options which are much more affordable. So at the Sydney airport, just outside the Sydney airport, you have bus network. So the bus from Sydney to Canberra takes 3 hours. Even if you come late in the night, all you have to go is outside the Sydney airport. There are two providers now, which is Murray's, and the other one is FlexiBus. So FlexiBus actually runs quite late in the night, which even if you do come late at say 12 o'clock or 10 o'clock, you still have options now. Earlier, it used to be that the last bus used to depart at 7 o'clock or something, but thanks to FlexiBus now, their schedule departs quite late in the night. So, in case if you're still not able to get onto the bus, I think the next best recommendation would be to stay in Sydney. But I'm very confident that I myself have come late in the night and I've been able to get onto FlexiBus. They've got buses departing at 10 o'clock, 11 p.m. as well, early morning at 4 o'clock as well. And it's quite safe, it's quite affordable, and it's straight outside the airport. So even if you're coming for the first time, you will get direction in terms of where to go, and it drops you straight in Canberra Centre as well. So it is quite easy and accessible, I would say.
Excellent. I didn't know about the existence of the flexi bus, that which is quite good actually. Sounds much more accommodating in terms of other public transport as well. Another one would be, oh, okay, this is an interesting one. What makes the University of Canberra stand out for international students compared to other universities in Australia? I guess maybe pick about one or two, Raj, for your opinion.
I think our biggest, so from the university, two things I would like to point out, because one of them is very crucial to the university and which is what we are really known for, which is our graduate employability rate. The practical element that at the university, the hands-on experience, being Australia's most practical university, allows students to be job ready and it allows them to get a good return on their investment. So that's one thing that is very stand out of the university. Even if we compare us to the bigger universities such as Western Sydney University, La Trobe, Victoria University, we are doing better in terms of graduate employability rate, even better than ANU, Australia's top university, group of eight university in terms of employability. The second aspect, I think our unique advantage comes from our location. Located in Canberra gives you a study experience, gives you a good journey from coming here to then living longer in Australia, to getting good paying jobs, to getting good skill development, to getting good support, and being located in a very student friendly city, very safe city, very affordable city as well compared to the big cities. So two things that make us stand out. One would be the job ready aspect, the practical aspect, and the other would be the unique student experience that students get by choosing Canberra as a study destination.
Perfect. That's a very very good answer, Raj. So, all right. I think let me see. There's another one. Is it possible to get the placement in the hospital in the campus specifically for Bachelor of Nursing students, and have there been any students who have already gotten place in the campus hospital?
So the campus hospital is largely for students to get hands-on experience while they still at the university. They still are in their first semester. So it's like a simulated learning facility plus for you to get some hands-on experience before you go outside the university network. So many of our students would be there at the university, but most of the actual placements would either be at the bigger public hospitals such as Canberra Hospital or the private hospital, Calvary Hospital. But the teaching would happen at the Canberra Hospital at the nursing labs. So just to give you an idea, the University of Canberra is very located very close to the major hospitals here. We're just 5 minutes out. So even if you may not get a placement at the Canberra hospital, but you can look at or the university hospital. There are other hospitals which are nearby, and the placement is organized by the university, which is another good thing. We have a dedicated team. Students don't have to look for placement, and that's for most courses at the university. The placements are organized by the university.
Great. Okay, we take one last more questions. How flexible are the courses if I want to switch programs or specialize later in my studies? I suppose when
Hmm.
one person, I think one student enroll, is it flexible to change? As in,
So we encourage students to do a research, obviously, before choosing whatever course they're going into. Obviously, sometimes students may go into a course and they it may not be what they expected it to be. And if you wanted to change a course, we encourage them to apply again at the university. The challenge really is in terms of getting credits. So if there are open electives into the newer degree that you're wanting to go, if it's in a different field, you may be able to get credits, especially if you're in your first year when you have not completed most, like a large portion of your degree. Then it is much easier for you to just switch to a newer degree. But definitely possible. If you have not selected the right course to begin with, I encourage students to talk to us to support team. We have a dedicated student support team here. We have dedicated student counselors who are able to help you in terms of making the right choice, in terms of switching your degrees as well within the university, if that's what you like.
I think the same student was just saying that just in case, like as in it will be the same course, but just majoring is a little bit like, if they choose, for example, like cybersecurity, but it's not up to what like it's not really what
What
they
they want.
wanted. At first they give it a go and then they try to change it into other, but it's in the same field. So I guess the student might have to talk to the faculty or the student services, isn't it, Raj? Yeah.
Correct. So
Mm.
depending on the specialization. So if you've selected a cybersecurity specialization, there are certain set units that need to be done for you to complete that specialization. If you decide to switch that, if you decide to switch early on, you may have certain electives which you will get credits for, open electives in the other course. It is possible. It's not impossible because there's a lot of overlap between cybersecurity, data science, machine learning, AI. So there are a lot of overlapping subjects. So it is possible. I encourage you to have a discussion with us, and we can figure the best option for you.
Excellent. Okay, I think for the rest of the question, what I might do is I'll compile and then Raj, I might email you. But some of the question
Absolutely.
we would be able to actually answer it. But that actually concludes our session with University of Canberra. Raj, I could not say, like I appreciate a lot your time and thank you so much for giving us a little bit more in depth about University of Canberra and the lifestyle in Canberra as well. So to all of our audiences and students as well, we will be sharing the presentation once I get it from Mr. Raj, and also we will be sharing the video, just in case that you want to kind of sort of like recap back a little bit or you have missed out quite a few other things. For the audiences that would like to actually ask more questions, please feel free to send in to us. If there is a question specifically about the academics, then I would refer it to Raj about it. But apart from that, thank you so much, Raj, for your time and have a good week.
Thank you for organizing it as well. And you will see questions that students may have later. So looking forward to hearing from students and hearing from yourself. I'm happy to assist where I can.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Raj.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.